on the line, and I gotta say, Orion's weapons are just as good as ever, if not even more so. Already gonna be getting that neutral, trying to come back in with that down, and Stingray, aggressive, making sure that VipR doesn't have any time to wake up whatsoever. Wow.
VipR kicking things off on these blasters. As you mentioned, Stingray with a phenomenal start here, keeping pressure super high on that lance, looking for any aerials he can get. VipR is trying to zone him out. VipR is trying to run away a little bit and throw out attacks behind him, but not too much is connecting. Finally able to get some momentum though and get some damage.
Oh yeah, right now VipR just looking through this next opening with the guitars, right? Just being nice and patient. Honestly, I think guitars are so good into lances because they give you so much ability to jump on in. VipR going out there with that chase dodge and the recovery as well. The damage, the punishment does not end quite yet. Tries to dodge past that weapon toss, but alas, a little bit too slow of the weapon toss. It was nice and active, and a nice little down sig for that coverage.
That is going to be the KO onto VipR now. Still, Stingray finding massive success with that lance. Is going to be sticking to it here. Not going to be swapping off the weapon. VipR on the blasters as well. That's where he got most of his damage last stock around. Now let's see if he's going to be able to find a KO as well.
Ooh, I don't know if that was his intention. Maybe trying to catch like Stingray jumping onto the platform. Stingray's movement so far has been just like pretty safe. Totally evasive, avoiding the blasters as often as possible. I gotta say, this kind of looks a little bit tough for blasters to actually get in on lance.
Absolutely, VipR is having a super hard time at actually getting in. Stingray is just is just doing a phenomenal job at spacing these blasters right now. The D-Sig isn't going to be connecting either. I'm not sure if that was a bait or if that was unintentional, but either way, VipR is gonna get a massive, get punished massively out of that. And Stingray is close to making this 3 stocks to 1.
Yeah, for sure. But right now, VipR just gonna be punching back a little bit. I don't know about that decision making. He was like, okay, am I gonna get this weapon? Am I not gonna get this weapon? And as a result, he has not taken the stock off yet. Now gonna be stuck off stage. Stingray gonna be continuously depriving him of these weapons. Neutral is not gonna be able to KO, and nothing off stage is gonna come in either. You have no weapon. What are you doing fighting against this futuristic rocket lance?
Oh, nice recovery coming out as well. VipR finally getting that KO. Now still a full stock lead for Stingray. This is looking difficult for VipR, but he is on those Katars. Katars are able to, I say this every single time I see Katars, but I swear, dude, Katars are able to get damage quickly.
Yeah, quickly is an understatement. They're also able to do so in an unethical fashion.
That's
as well.
Stingray on orange, and VipR is keeping it going with these aerials.
Oh, chase dodge again. Somebody doesn't have a dodge. Somebody now has to find a way to be able to land. Neutral through that non-committal all coverage. I remember once he told me, hey, if nothing is coming out with guitars, you just got to neutral a little bit more. And try to come in with that side sig.
That could have been absolutely massive, but Stingray doing an amazing job at spacing that out. Did he foresee it? Did he know VipR was going to do that? He must have, with how well he was out spacing that.
Oh, but Stingray looking for that neutral jump coverage. Not going to be able to find it quite yet. VipR slowing it down at the ledge. That whiffed.
Oh my god, every single time Stingray is on the edge, you just already know the D-Sig is coming out, but Stingray is going to be going down from that recovery instead, and Stingray still having a good lead. This is still, you know, the odds are in Stingray's favor here.
Yeah, Stingray is the one that is, of course, number 2 in NA. Stingray is Stingray. He is just that guy. So right now looking for a way to be able to catch landings, but Katari's off stage can be up to no good. You get 1-2 downers, and you could make something happen. But you just have to set up that kind of situation, and oh boy, VipR is setting something up.
He's definitely setting something up. Looking for any kind of start here. You know, Katars, as soon as they get one start, you can get something massive going, and it looks like that's what VipR is going for. Not able to get something absolutely huge, but still, that's good damage. Stingray getting closer and closer to this KO, though. And the D-Sig is going to be it, and that is going to be the KO. 1 stock orange left on Stingray. Even game, but he is going to be the one coming out on top.
All of these games are so much more even than we would think, statistically speaking, going into each match, right? VipR, I think, played beautifully. I will say this. Blasters, especially in this matchup, were looking a little bit difficult. We saw how much VipR had to rely on the Katars. That might bring about a little bit of inconsistency if that's not a weapon that you can pick up in the upcoming games, since a good amount of it is RNG based on like the tempo of the match, right? So VipR going into this next one, Katars was so good.
Ragnar. 100%. If VipR does not go on Ragnar right now, I would be so surprised. That's like the two legends that VipR is super solid at the moment. And those blasters, I mean, let's be honest, in the last 2 stocks, all of the work VipR did was on those Qatars. He's going to want to stick to those Qatars, and apparently the blasters too. Still, this is best out of 5, so he can change his mind about that. Stingray on the other hand, of course, coming from a victory, is not really going to need to swap up his pick.
Let's see if he can prove us wrong. He has blasters in hand yet again. Let's see how that's going to work out that time. Last game, free stock, maybe didn't do as much work as VipR would have hoped. He can't actually find that link. Right now, maybe going to be tossing away the blasters, or not quite. Chase dodging in, they're going to be looking for that down. Oh my gosh, VipR juggling, looking like a clown.
Now Stingray coming out with some good and dares to take VipR down here. Going to swapping over to the spear now. Trying to find some kind of nair, some kind of D-light. Sair actually to start it off. In general, I feel like I don't see Stingray patrolling the ground very much. He's opening up a lot of these engagements with nairs, with Sairs, with dares, a lot of things like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. In that downside coverage, that's the classic, right? That is like, oh wow, there is nothing that you can do to get past that move. It is A, active, it B, it hits both sides, and it is strong. So now Qatari's in hand yet again. You saw how much work they did last time around. Let's see if it's going to happen this time. Stingray not going to be having any of it with the spear. VipR needs to land. Stingray just going to be saying, get off of me, stop approaching me, stop jumping in on me.
Good sidelight coming out onto VipR here, getting more and more damage, but VipR finally being able to connect one of those D6. Might be the 4th or the 3rd one we see this set, and VipR is finally able to find a KO with one of them.
I'm pretty
now
sure
on
the first 2 whipped in the first game, and yeah, just as you said, it finally connected. It did exactly what, as the British would say, what it said on the tin. But speaking of doing what it said on the tin, Stingray with the spear classic. The downlights, the GC downlights into the Sair as well. You could make some stuff happen off stage. You could take out those stocks so precariously early.
Now, still VipR doing a good job at keeping it even, keeping it competitive here. He is so hungry for this KO. He wants to even it out. He knows that 2-0 is going to be rough to recover from. He needs to get the stock off.
Oh my god! And almost gets that stock off the top as well. He is not letting VipR land whatsoever. Getting that neutral, constantly pushing him into the corner. VipR has so much damage, so many stocks to make up at this point. Is this game doable? You need to find a recovery to take that stock off the top ASAP if you're VipR.
For sure, and there's the end light to start it off, but still. Oh, the DC side sig off like super far up. That was an insane option by VipR. That's such a VipR option to use.
Mensa, that was so big brain. I saw his brain expand in real time, his veins bulge out. Wow, VipR is in it. You know what, despite the fact that he's at this massive deficit, Lance can get these KOs really early. He's still staying patient, just barely avoiding that recovery. Finds one of his own. Landing back onto the ground. 1, 2 recoveries, neutral area, and
oh my
Chase
god,
dodges up.
This is massive. VipR is getting so much damage. He almost got the dodge there. That could have been even bigger. Now Stingray though swapping over to the spear. VipR needs to watch out for the D-Sig, but it's going to be the recovery that gets the KO instead. That's 2-0 on the set. Stingray is keeping the lead set-wise, and could this finally be where we get to see VipR swap legends?
VipR was beginning to sink his teeth into Stingray. We saw it in the beginning with the blasters. That was so different to what we saw in Game 1, actually putting in a pretty solid chunk of damage. And at the end, had there not been such a deficit, I'm fairly confident with how well that VipR was playing, that was his game. I think that was definitely his game. Had he just been, the damage a little bit less against him.
For sure, and it looks like we don't actually have the stats on VipR's weapon damage, but I would like to believe that VipR maybe had 3 times more damage on the blast on the Qatars. Like, those Qatars are looking so solid right now. And
well,
it's working out so well.
I got the stats for you right here. The Qataris dealt a cumulative 280, whereas the blasters ended up dealing 105. So more than twice.
Almost 3 times. Yeah, that was a pretty close guess then. I'm trying to look here in this Legend selection screen. I actually don't... Is that Dusk? No, there's no way that's Dusk, right? Okay, no, it's the Ragnar! We're getting the Ragnar, Nora!
You foretold this. You talked about this, so talk to me. How do you feel about this choice going into this? Now going to be getting the axe out here.
The one thing that is swapping, the biggest swap here is, of course, going over from the blasters to the axe. VipR might try that axe out, but if it's not working, he can just fall back to those Qatars and see how they're working for him. He has a different sig kit. He's not going to be able to get an early KO with a D-Sig or a side sig, but still, the stats on VipR may be favoring, the stats on Ragnar may be favoring VipR a little bit more. Stingray's looking so solid though.
Yeah, but I gotta say this was a good choice. This was an excellent choice. You say, hey, I know I'm 2 games in, but I have to make something happen. This is still winner's side. VipR going up and above that recovery, eating that sail off stage. Stingray though, not gonna be able to find a downlight into the sail off stage. You just need one more spike. You can flow chug this. You have no options. Stingray has nothing left to actually threaten or make that recovery ambiguous. You're going one way, and that is back down to the blast zone. VipR has a lead. Polly, can he hold this lead?
And the axe is working out well for VipR. We saw it right there on the offstage encounter. VipR is massively insane at getting quick damage build up on the Katars, and with the axe, he's going to be able to get those KO offstage if he so pleases. Stingray though is going to be finding that next KO, evening it out quickly, and this is high time for VipR to start getting a little bit afraid. But it looks like he's not at all actually, and is doing a great job at extending a lead here.
Oh, interesting choice to go for the recovery. It stalls you up a little bit. You can still come back down with an aggressive button. Not able to get that downlight. VipR ends up dodging to the left. Landed nice and safe. Dodged up. You seeing how VipR is mixing up his disadvantage options. He's not dodging the same way twice. He is making sure he knows his mix. He's making sure that Stingray will not succeed in finding any easy follow-ups.
And just a couple of hits just like that, and that's going to bring VipR all the way down to orange already. But VipR finding that KO with the wake up, 2 minutes time. Stingray is on their last stock. VipR needs to find this KO right now, or that's VipR going down to eliminations bracket.
Yeah, I can't wait to see a replay on that second stock. I would love to see it a little bit later after this game, but now VipR has axe in hand. Stingray looking through the struggle. Nice dodge, but then ends up swinging in the wrong direction. Downsig is not actually going to be able to connect. Is that going to connect though? Yes, it will be. The recovery will pop him up, will be able to even up that stock count. Stingray is keeping his head in the game, but the question is, does VipR have what it takes to at least take a game lead?
Stingray all the way down in orange. This is the best opportunity VipR has had thus far to be able to take the game off Stingray, but Stingray is looking so incredibly strong, and VipR is getting deeper and deeper into the yellow here. He's gonna recover him off though.
He's committing pretty heavily to some of these SIGs now. Now Stingray tries to come back onto the stage, is able to do so successfully. Dash jumping, looking for that downlight. Not gonna be able to find it yet, but big combo. You're now getting juggled. You have to land. How do you land safely? VipR just does it.
Smell maybe a side sig, maybe some kind of signature here. Stingray with the D-sig, that's going to get punished with the end light. Stingray, VipR now so close to finding the KO. It's going to be Nair all the way up. D-light, that's not going to be, that's not going to be KO.
Going to be whiffing that sig as well. VipR tossing out the weapon, still continuously denying Stingray, who is starting to struggle a little bit. That didn't KO.
VipR can't find the KO right now. He's been using so many attacks that are not that great at KOing, but the recovery finally, and the dream for VipR is still alive.
Look at him, he's happy, he's
I hear him from here. I hear VipR behind of me yelling.
Oh, he's scheming, he's rubbing his hands together. Okay. Specifically, the stock that I had the most in mind was that second one. If I'm not mistaken, that was like such a tense situation where VipR was just walking back and forth. He was just looking at Stingray menacingly. He looked at him, tuned away. Whoop, peekaboo, I'm still here. He planted his feet, but look how much work the axe put in. This was an excellent switch. VipR is so smart for doing this. You fully told this. He wanted to give Blasters one more shot, but he mixed it up when he needed to. This legend swap is exactly what he needed. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. VipR now has a game, and he has momentum. And you already know, Polly, the probability for reverse 3-0, we have seen it all weekend.
The thing is, I feel like Stingray is one of those players to wake up after he drops a game like this. I feel like if VipR wins this game, VipR wins the set. If not, I think Stingray is going to absolutely just roll VipR right now.
Stingray is opting to play a little bit more in the air, just looking for a nice way to be able to land. Axe in hand, just opting to keep it nice and safe on the stage. Not going to be going out there with anything silly quite yet. What a weapon toss.
Oh my god! The spear plays are insane coming out from Stingray, getting that KO with the D-sig as well. VipR had a lot going for him, but that's going to be Stingray basically just, well, it's not mashing, but basically mashing attacks in the direction of VipR and them all just connecting.
Orion D-sig is so good because you don't have to guess which direction your opponent is going to land. If you're like, okay, I think you're going to dash and I think you're going to dodge into me. This is such a good tool.
Fast.
And VipR keeps on whiffing these things, gives himself all these opportunities. Stingray going all the way out there off stage. Oh, buddy, they are committing. Can VipR make it back on? Yes, he can. From down under. Good wait, but
what is that option coming out from Stingray? It's not going to be a KO, but oh man, do I like the creativity. Still, VipR taking him down now, all the way down in orange. This is still very doable for VipR, but Stingray has a massive lead, and if he's able to build on that, that is going to be very bad for VipR.
I really like the Kataris, especially at the early damage. This is how VipR builds it up, and the axe is just like nice, solid, consistent keep away tool. Okay, just looking for this opening, being so patient. That is the patience of VipR. He's not immediately following up. He's always delaying his next attack by just a little bit, just in case he can get a bigger punish on a poor defensive option.
For sure, and he's having a really hard time getting an opening here with these Katars. Stingray is doing such a good job at just pushing VipR into this metaphorical corner right now, and the weapon throw is going to find the KO as well. Now Stingray 1 KO away from getting into top 16.
And he's only going to be sitting in the yellow. VipR has so much to come back from at this point. This is a dominant lead. Going to be looking for that neutral, like classic speed follow-ups. VipR going to be whiffing on his way back down to the ground. That's 1 anti-air, that's 2. He's continuing the juggle. He's looking to scout out this landing, but he goes right, Stingray goes left, and he landed nice and safe.
Looking to catch any kind of landing here with an end light, but no, it's going to be an offstage play, and this is dangerous. You gotta watch out for the dare, you gotta watch out for the end sig. Stingray can get a KO very quickly here.
Oh yeah, but not actually gonna be able to get that neutral. Stingray looking for his own neutral with a bit of coverage, looking for a way to be able to land there, whiffing so much. Stingray finally finding a very slight punish. Nobody is going for immediate follow-ups anymore. You see Stingray going for that greed option. He wants that big punish.
Absolutely. There's the dare coming out now from VipR. Ooh, this is looking bad. VipR is going to get knocked out at any moment now. It's going to be the D-Sig that's going to find it, with Stingray advancing, getting top 16. And VipR, unfortunately, getting knocked down 2 eliminations brackets, where we will have to follow him later. Ladies and gentlemen, VipR is not out just yet.
I love the fact what you said about, like, Stingray just needed a game to wake up. He lost that game and he was like, okay, I'm putting, I'm going to pick up the controller yet again. I'm going to do exactly what I did, except even better this time around. Ultimately, what happened? I feel like there was a couple of poor offstage commitments from VipR, especially when he started to get down. I understand it. He was like, okay, if I hit this, I even up the stock count, I can make this doable for myself. If I whiff this, maybe not so much. But ultimately, I love just how much Stingray was implementing D-Sig. It's such a good option for a reason. It's all coverage, it's nice and active, it is stupidly strong, and it just kept on catching a lot of VipR's movement. Stingray just got more and more comfortable popping it out as the set went on. We saw an unreasonable amount of SIGs actually end up connect, or even just go unpunished. The way that Stingray was like using them in his advantage, especially out of like a lot of neutral lights, especially out of like a lot of downlights when he had the lance, it was, I mean, it was excellent.
I mean, we were seeing 8 signature attacks with a accuracy of, I think it was 56% or 36%. That is absolutely huge coming out from Stingray. VipR, though, only using 1 sig, which didn't connect. Probably an axe and a sig, I don't really remember. But still, VipR is still in the tournament. It's going to be fun to follow him later. Stingray going to be advancing. PR2 coming out from NA, so I mean, is this a surprising outcome? No, but it was definitely a very, very exciting game nonetheless.
Yeah, everybody's putting up the best fight that they can. That's the beauty of this event. You have so many seasoned competitors from all around. This is something that I really want to point out. Typically speaking, with a lot of land fighting game tournaments, you know, you have like 80% of like the guys that are like